Hey guys, what's going on? My name is George Pintilli and I'm the founder of Engineering the Body. Today we're going to kind of cover a big topic, and that's why your diet is failing or why you failed at dieting in the past, right? And first things right off the bat, the thing I want to say about diet is if you're going on a specific type of diet, you know, you're already doing it wrong. Ultimately, the point of all this is to eat whatever you want in a way that works for you and your body, so mastering your body, and that gets you results, sustainable results, right? Now, I'm sure you've tried one, if not many of these, right? You got fasting, you got keto. Eliminating an entire food group, right? Like carbs. Who doesn't love carbs? Egg diet, juicing, pills, military diet, supplements, shakes, Weight Watchers, Herbalife. All of it, you've probably heard it before. If not, you've probably tried it before. All of them essentially accomplish one thing, and that's getting you to eat less, but in a non-sustainable way. The fact of the matter is that if you start doing any of these things, you've probably experienced something called yo-yo dieting, right? So it's the process of you starting on one of these diets, you lose a little bit of weight, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, maybe even a couple weeks, right? And then guess what? You fall off track because it's unsustainable, because you go to a party and you don't want to be a weirdo that shows up with Tupperware or something like that at a birthday party or a wedding. And guess what? There's cake, there's pizza. The real world is dynamic. The real world does not restrict you in terms of what you should be eating, and neither should you, for you and your intensive purposes, right? Your diet doesn't need a name, guys. Just because you're on Atkins or on keto and you preach it to the world that you're on keto and it's this great big thing, it's not. Your diet does not need a name. What you need is a sustainable approach to your goal, and an approach that allows you to eat your favorite foods while still achieving the result of fat loss. That's the key, guys. You just need to find something that works for you and your body. All of these diets, the issue with them is they tell you what to do. They don't teach you what works for you and your body. And ultimately, you're going to get into the cycle where, you lose a little bit of weight, you go to a party, something happens in your life, stress comes up, you eat your feelings away, and then you go try another thing, and then you lose weight, you gain it back, you try another thing, and you keep this yo-yo dieting process, which not only damages your metabolism, it has a poor outcome because you just end up gaining the weight right back, and you never master what works for you and your body, and you keep going into this endless cycle. Fat loss is very simple, guys. Very simple. You have something called your BMR, right? And that's called your basal metabolic rate. And this is, what this is it's measured in terms of calories, right? So let's say this number, by the way, the 2,000 calories is determined based on your age, your gender, your height, body fat percentage. All those kind of factors play a role. And all BMR is how many calories you require to be at rest. So if you're kind of unconscious, in a hospital bed, they kind of just put you out, they sedated you. How many calories do you need to just sustain organ function, brain function, and all those processes in the body? For the sake of the matter today, we'll just say 2,000 calories is your BMR. What does that mean? You need 2,000 calories just to survive. If you eat more than your BMR, you're gonna gain weight, guys. Very simple. You're gonna gain weight. If you eat less than your BMR, you're gonna lose weight. Now, this gets a little bit more advanced where, there's a difference between losing weight and getting lean. And by the way in which you control losing weight, it's like you can chop off your arm, you've just lost weight, congrats. But getting lean is actually removing fat tissue as you're revealing that nice muscle tone underneath of your fat. Fat is on top of muscle. You first have to lose the fat to have muscle. It's impossible to just kind of look bigger without sort of trimming away at the fat and looking toned, right? The way you achieve getting lean, you focus on just burning the fat, not just any tissue, but fat in particular. And that's where macros play a huge role. And we can kind of cover that in a later video. But the way in which you eat and the proportions, and this is just protein, fat, and carbs, and all these three things make up the calories, right? The way in which you eat in these particular ratios will determine how your body looks after you've trimmed away the fat. Because if you just focus on calories and you drop a bunch of calories, guess what? You're just gonna go from a big blob to a smaller blob, and that's called just getting skinny fat. And nobody really wants that. Everyone wants that definition. Nobody wants to lose skin around the abdominals, right? that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. It's very simple, guys. Step one is you find where your BMR is. You eat less, right? And you lose weight. The best part about this, guys, is this is sustainable. You don't fall off. Guess what? If you have a BMR of 2,000 calories, you can eat like a large pizza every day and still accomplish fat loss. That's the crazy part about this all. As long as you start getting away from a certain name for your diet, you start eating the foods you actually want to eat, all you have to do is just eat less than your body requires to survive. And that is essentially how you lose weight permanently and very sustainably over a long period of time. There's obviously a lot more that kind of goes behind the scenes and the way you kind of figure that out. This number will be different for everybody. There's a few calculators online that will tell you what your number is. There's always a margin of error, okay? So it's just an experimentation phase. It's finding out what works for you and your body and mastering your body, and then realizing that going into a slight deficit, that doesn't mean cut 2,000 to 500 to lose weight, just means cut it by 250 calories. You'll achieve sustainable fat loss. Once you hit a plateau, you lower a little bit more, because if you just go from 2,000 calories to 500, you're gonna immediately hit a plateau. You're gonna lose a bunch. So I hope that kind of made some sense, guys, and what I explained to you today. If you have any questions, let me know. Really happy to kind of discuss this with you. This will be essentially the number one thing you have to figure out for you and your body in order to achieve the results that you want. And again, like I said, do not restrict what you eat. Just eat within the parameters and guidelines that you need to set for yourself, and you're gonna have long-lasting results. And you can eat whatever you want, which is the best part about it. And it's the way life should be, because ultimately food should be enjoyed. Hopefully you got something from this. I'll see you on the other side.